Can you see that now? Sorry, that's the obligatory question. Okay.
Yeah, so, no, fine. There you go. Yep, you're in presentation. Perfect.
Perfect. Good. All right. So let me just start off with what we actually are talking about here. And I mean, just to go back to the definition, revenue management is about selling, and it's about selling the right product to the right customer at the right time, through the at the right price, through the right channel. And what I'd like to show you today is how our price optimizer is the right tool to support that full revenue management cycle. Now, my name is Claudio Limacher. I'm CEO of Yielplanet. We are a specialized hotel technology provider offering both distribution and revenue management solutions. From our offices in Warsaw, Barcelona, and Lucerne, we serve more than 4,500 clients, spanning over 80 countries, including a number of them in North America. On the channel management front, just to tick that off quite quick, we have more than 400 connections at the moment. That includes about 250 channels like OTAs, wholesalers, tour operators, you name it. We have over 80 booking engines that are connected to our channel manager that clients can use, and we have more than 100 PMSs that we're integrated with. So it's a very broad range, making us one of the most flexible solutions to use, particularly that we're really specialized on just distribution and revenue management. So we don't have a booking engine that we need to push as well. We don't have a GDS connection that we need to push as well, and so on. What I'd like to talk to you today about, however, is Price Optimizer. We obviously have long years of history, it's more than 10, and expertise in channel management, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that our Price Optimizer is a quite unique combination of a distribution and revenue management system. So we're putting ourselves in that pocket. We launched Price Optimizer in 2018. And that was actually a result of merging the solutions with a Swiss RMS provider that in itself had over 10 years of experience in the market with our cloud solution. That previous solution was on-premise. The algorithms we developed both on our end from the Swiss part, and also we had a collaboration running with Princeton University and Politechnica in Warsaw. That's the main university here in Poland, not here anymore. Now let me just dig into some of the underpinnings of where we are coming from. We all know the basic information flow of how a PMS channel manager and different distribution channels work. That's just what I'm showing you here. Availability and prices go from the PMS to the channel manager. From there, they go to the different channels, and reservations make the opposite direction. There's no magic on this. If we're talking about Price Optimizer, we changed that flow a little bit, and particularly we don't have the RMS as it is very often on many of these charts, somewhere in the center or or somewhere on the side. It's actually front and center. So what is different here is that out of a PMS, we're taking out availability. We're taking all the reports out that we can. We also take other reports out externally from the PMS, and we create prices in the Price Optimizer, sending them to the channel manager, to the different channels, and the reservations flow the opposite direction. We also have here this direct box that is on the top right corner. I think the main thing is that there are no prices in the PMS necessary, because we are clearly distinguishing that a PMS is an operational system, and it's very important to run a smooth operation in a hotel. We're understanding a Price Optimizer channel management combination and the booking engine, obviously, as your main stack for selling. And so let's keep on going back to the definition. Revenue management is all about selling, so that's where we're focusing on. That brings us to this ecosystem that just looks a little bit nicer than and a bit more comprehensive than the one before. Right?
Yeah.
So again, the flow goes from the PMSs through the different tools into the different channels. It's clear that a revenue management system cannot work in isolation, and given this heritage that we have in channel management, we actually know a thing or two about integrations. with all the ones that we've built. We also have the other data sources as integrated from Review Pro Data into HQ Plus, which are obviously vital information for an Eramas to work. And we can build this into one end-to-end solution that works for both all the online channels, and it also works for all the offline channels. And I'll show you a bit more about that in a minute. When we talk about phone reservations, walk-in reservations, please allow me to put an email reservation in the pocket of an offline reservation. I know it's technically online, but that's not, I think, what we're talking about here. So that's just kind of the underpinning that I just wanted to show you to share where we're kind of coming from, what is our philosophy in that whole ecosystem. For us, the most important thing here is to say that in the end, it's about what we see here on the right. It's about having the right price where the customer actually makes a reservation. A customer doesn't make a reservation on a bar price. It doesn't make it on a last room value calculation. It makes a reservation in the channel. It's very good that you have the best possible algorithms to calculate the best possible price with the best possible data inputs. If you're not bringing that price and that availability with the right restrictions and the right rate plan fast enough in front of the customer, it doesn't help. And that, I think, is where we're sticking out. We are way faster than most others between recalculation of prices and actually putting that price in front of the customer's face. Now, having that said, Price Optimizer is actually way more than just prices. And it optimizes more than just prices. With this unique combination of distribution and RMS, we can optimize the products that customers can actually buy. For example, the inventory is optimized based on the demand, irrespective of what the PMS tells me to do. So if, for example, single rooms are selling, and they're selling as good that we are even selling them on double room prices, we will keep on selling single rooms, and we will overbook the double rooms until we run out of them. It's about supply and demand, and there is no reason of not, like, within limitations, obviously, but there is no reason of not selling a double room under the title of a single room at the double room price, if there is more demand for single rooms. So these things we can fully automate. We can have lengths of stay restrictions that are automatically applied and really helping to drive the revenue up. At the end of the day, a 3-day stay is worth more than a marginal increase on just one of these days. So that's what we've built into the system from the very beginning. As I said, we're very close to distribution, so we work with lengths of stay restrictions, which is what most channels can eat or can process. Sorry for the collective word, but what they can actually process. They cannot process a length of stay, a last room value per se. You need to recalculate it. So that's what we're doing already. We completely automate the distribution. Beyond prices and inventory, PO can open and close rate plan, which is the equivalent of a product, depending on the demand, and also open other offers. So imagine a world where your weekend special is only open when you need that extra demand, and it closes fully automatically when the demand is high enough, so you don't need it. And we do that for every weekend for the next 2 years. And we do that on Saturday morning at 3 a.m. Not on Monday when the revenue manager comes back to the hotel. And then groups and allotments is for us quite of a big thing. We can adjust the algorithms or the formulas in a way that it either takes allotments into account or not. There's just two ways to this. On one hand, a group booking is there and you're no longer able to sell these rooms. At the same time, a group booking is not a justification that your price in the transient channels is actually correct. So we can work with both of these strategies, and we can even work with both of these strategies simultaneously depending on which time frame we're looking at, because it's different if that is 6 months in the future or if that is tomorrow. So both of this can be taken into account. We can work with allotments very well. We can even work on wash factors of allotments and influence the pricing. And again, it's about the impact on the pricing algorithms from these wash factors, which are a unique feature that we can pull off here to make sure your pricing strategy follows what you still have up to sell and not what you maybe have on the books in the PMS.
Understood.
Yeah, and then the last part is this channel control. Again, we are this unique combination, so we can do a lot of things directly with the channels. For example, if you have, just taking some numbers, if you have less than 5 rooms to sell, but you have more than 10 days left to sell them, we will close channels with a high commission automatically, fully in the background, making sure you sell them on your direct channels. Maybe your meta search is still on, and as soon as we, if we're then 1 or 2 days prior to arrival, we put them back on Booking.com or on all the other OTAs, because now we need it also from that channels.
Hello, Claudio. I'm here. Vinny.
Hey, hi.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm
No worries.
Trevor will gonna kill me. Can I
not yet, Vinny.
But you're very close to do it. I know that. It's okay. One thing I want to, because Claudio give us an outstanding performance what Yielplanet can do. I need to correct him. He told us they have 486. No, Claudio, I'm sorry. You're the CEO, huh? But you have 696 connectivities worldwide concerning all the. Don't be mad at me. You're the CEO. Okay, you can be mad. The one thing that Claudio just said is that normally a lot of markets, not Europe or maybe not US, but emergent market as Brazil, South America, Asia, and a few times Africa, and including Central America and a few cities of North America, that is include US and Canada. Most of people always want to have a connectivity PMS channel manager. What just he said is that you don't need to have it. And as a professional that worked 16 years in more than 47 countries all over the world, I can give you an opinion that we don't need to do that. Because if we, hoteliers, please understand this. If you connect your channel manager, doesn't matter if it's Yielplanet or other one, and everything will be managed by the PMS. Most of times you do promotions, you do package, you do a lot of things that sometimes is not even listed on the channel manager. And then you have issues. And then the first person that you go through is the channel manager, the issue. No, the PMS will be the issue. What I personally recommend, as Claudio said, as channel manager is the central distribution for any hotel or any chain. However, the PMS will receive all reservations, but don't use the PMS to set pricing. Why? As Claudio told you, if you check Yielplanet as an example, you will see that you can manage all your bars. You can do a configuration where you set your revenue management on the channel manager and set, for example, I'm going to have a price between, I don't know, 100 to 150. And when we go to 160 to 200 will be another one. However, you set your standard price. So every time you're going to set up and do your spread of pricing, you're going to set the price in your standard pricing, and it will affect all your other rooms and all the OTAs. This is very important. When you do that through the PMSs don't have most of them. I don't tell names because I can't, but even all of them cannot manage everything. And then the default will be the channel manager. Yes, Claudio, sorry.
I can show you some more things. Let me just build up to that if I can, because I can show you.
Go ahead and show the public. Show how Yielplanet can build, for example, all the RM automatically. Just send the price, because Yielplanet connect with Libra connect with ideas, Duetto, Atomize, and Yielplanet also has their own RMS. But the main concept of Yielplanet is distribution, and one is one of the best channel managers in the world for that.
Thank you. And I like what I'm trying to say here is that this price optimizer, you have. Thank you, Vinicius. That's a very good point. And I mean, I'll come back to some of your points in just a second. I just want to stick to one order here. Is that having sat of where we went on just where the price optimizer is, we have basically two kind of two parts. One is what I'm showing you here is the revenue management view. This is kind of what we call the cockpit. It's the price control page. There's a lot of other things from dashboards to forecasting to price reports. I'm not going to go through all of this, but what we really built here is a revenue management point of a price control that is focused for revenue managers, but is actually very much linked to distribution. I know it's a dense screen, and what it really does is try to show you on one screen as much information as possible that you need to steer. It's not an analytics page. It's to steer distribution and prices. We have all the room types. We have lots of dates. We have a lot of basic informations that mean a lot for people that are trained on this, but it is always the price, it is always the availability, it is the restrictions, and on the right-hand side, we have a lot of background information of how that algorithm calculated this price, why it is at the price point that it is right now, how did pickup adjusting it, how did competition prices influence that price point, and also how did the whole availability influence, or how do we manage the availability? Because we always see this as a thing that goes hand in hand. We have here a number of one-click controls, like upping a price. Sorry, this is a screenshot. Upping a price here is one click on this arrow, and it will distribute to all channels according to the right rules the new price right away. So in that sense, it is a control, like controlling a channel manager. With that one screen, we basically replace the channel manager to ever logging into the channel manager to do any actions, and a lot of the features or functions that you would normally set in a PMS in terms of pricing are also taken over. So you basically need that one screen. The second thing, and that's one other thing. Philosophically wise, we think whatever revenue management system you use, even though I'm talking a lot about automation, we do think that there are humans at the hotel, and there still needs to be a human impact into the pricing and the distribution and the revenue management. And this is the kind of interface that we are delivering for our clients to really work with that. Now, coming back to Vinicius, because that is exciting. We also bridge that last gap. When we had before what Vinicius said is that prices should not necessarily be in a PMS. They should be in a channel manager, and you're distributing online. What there is, there's a gap for all phone direct reservations. And for some hotels, that particularly emails and phones is quite substantial. So what we've done is we've built that piece on top of everything else, and have a dedicated functionality. We call this the front office view or the reservation screen. And here's where I'd like to actually switch over to the system to show you that a bit more in detail, which means I need to click a couple times before I can do that. Just give me that second. It's a window. Thank you very much. So I'll try to show you that live. So not only if you're using the channel manager as your main point to price, or even if you use an RMS connected to a channel manager as your main system to price, what you're missing out on is the reception. they don't have any prices anywhere anymore, or they need to go to your booking engine to see your prices, which is fine. It's just not very optimized to make reservations for a reservation team. Also, what you're missing out is a call center, or is person A taking reservations for hotel B, and so on. That's where our CRS or our reservation screen comes in, and on top of that, it allows you to do some other things that most other PMSs actually fail upon in terms of selling. I'm sorry, this is not US dollars, this is Danish crowns. So it's a bit like we're not on $1,295, but we might as well play that game. So if you have a caller coming in and say, like, I need a single room from today, Tuesday, the 9th of March, until next Saturday. Sorry, that will now refresh. I have had it loaded in the background. I will need to select this room. What I see, if I just very quickly show you my availability for these dates, I have 6 standard single rooms on Tuesday, all fine. I have 0 on Wednesday and Thursday, and I have even 0 on the superior room. Our system still allows you to make that reservation. Because it's a through booking, it is worth more than that one reservation I have there. It knows in the background that 35 times I can upgrade in the background from a single to a double room, which is a higher room category. So I can easily just take that reservation. Now, sorry, I'm taking 6 reservations in the basket. That's actually the next thing I wanted to show you. But I can make that reservation through, regardless of the fact that I don't have this, So that makes a system that is for the reception staff. There you can take it. Now let me take this all away. That's not what I wanted to do. But it's for the reception staff, exactly that system where they can take whatever their reservation is. They know what the availability is, and they know what the average price is that they need to communicate to that person on the phone. They themselves will see that this is a combination, and this gray bars will tell them that this is an upgrade in the background. The guest will not see that. They will get the standard single room. Somebody else that booked a single day will be upgraded. So that's what we do in the background. The second thing I wanted to show you here is we also show for the reception staff the rate plans that are available, including like corporate rates right away. So if you do have a phone reservation coming in from somebody that is working with a corporate rate, we can make that reservation as well. So that's the second thing, which is very, very helpful here, to have reception having access to these different rate plans. I'm sorry, I'm cleaning up something in order to show you that one more time. And the last thing, and that's where I think Vinicius is for me like the ultimate argument.
Claudio, sorry, Claudio. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I interrupted you again. It's not only for reception. We need to understand that the most of the hotels is not reception. It's the reservation team that do that.
Reservation team. Yes.
It's the reservation team, and on that is Yielplanet is on the top. I come from a big company as Amadeus. Yielplanet is a huge company, and I need to be very clear. I'm one of the representatives for Latin America, for example. But I don't need to be like a good guy here because I'm one of the representatives. But one thing that Claude is saying, what I talk about, is that when you manage Yielplanet, you can check all your revenue management set. You can set a minimum price. You can set up and left based also in occupation. And also, I was in Travel Click. I was to manage when they stopped working with Rate Gain, that was Channel Direct, and moved to Easy Yield. I never saw in my life, in 16 years working in development, a channel manager as Yielplanet. Once you have the correct set it up for the distribution, you never will have any kind of issue. Only if the hotel changed something on the OTA. If they don't do that, you never have issues at all. And move forward. I'm so sorry. It's 4 years.
That's fine. Sorry. That's fine. Thank you. I love your interruptions. That's perfect. The last thing I wanted to show here, though, is something slightly a bit different, and goes back to your previous comment about what a PMS cannot do. So let me bear with me. If you have a hotel that has 77 rooms and you've already sold 60 of them, so you have 17 left. There's a phone call and says, "Hey, I have a group. They need 17 rooms. What kind of price will your PMS give you?" It will tell you 17 times the current price. Now, from a revenue management perspective, that is just not the right price that you will sell at. I know, like, we know that if we sell these 17 rooms individually, we will hike the price until we sell the last one. If we do know our forecast will most likely sell out on this time, I should not price 17 times the current price. So what do you do? Which price do you take? And here's actually where this screen comes in, or this functionality comes in. I'm currently, and I did that before my mistake as well, I'm currently looking for 6 rooms. If I click on this button, what it will do in the background, it simulates through every single possible distribution that can happen with these 6 rooms, and it gives me a new price that is accommodating as we would do these 6 reservations, one after the other. It takes a while. It is not blistering fast yet, but it is certainly very, very helpful for reservation to actually be able to take these price points. So we now see the next room will be at 1,495. Remember before, like we see here what happened. We have 5 times the price at 1,395, and 1 times at 1,495 gives us an average of 1,412. That's what we will communicate to the customer, and we will sell at this average price. In the background, we know that the price already hiked up, and we're not just selling at the current price times whatever rooms you have. And this is something that I have not seen any PMS ever being able to deliver. So that's certainly one of these features that we're sticking out to. I'm not saying that it is the only pricing logic you should use for group bookings. Don't get me wrong. If somebody has a lot of groups, they all know they ask for a discount. The question is, where do you start on your discount? Do you start here, which means on what you could sell, or do you start at 6 times the current price? Then that makes a huge difference in order to sell, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Claudio, my personal opinion, I'm so sorry, Trevor will kill me.
No, I was going to just jump in because I'm conscious of time as well. So go on, Vinny. Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good.
But we have a time in just 1 minute. The most important thing here is that if we have 7 or 10 rooms left, a lot of hoteliers, what they do is turn down their price to have the full 100%. Never hoteliers do that, please. What we need to do is simple. Get your price. If you have a 90%, 92% occupation, double the price. Because if you turn down your price, the people that is inside of your hotel, if for some reason they get some kind of fidelization or telling you promotions that will be in your fidelity software, you're going to lose those clients. Just go higher. And that's all. And awesome presentation, Claudio. I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
No, not at all. It's fine. I'm just conscious that Patrick has joined us from our next speaker. Patrick, we're running a couple of minutes over, so just bear with us where we've got a couple of questions. But thank you. I agree, Vinny. Thank you, Claudio. That was excellent presentation. Again, great to look behind the scenes and actually see it in operation. Now, obviously, as the CEO of YIELDPLANET, you're kind of deeply ingrained in the technology side of things. Vin is deeply ingrained in the technology side of things. I'm going to come at things from a much more simplified solution and say, okay, so I'm looking at
Don't use PMSs connected to forward pricing through Channel Manager. Don't do that. Just use Channel Manager, 2-ways connectivity. Don't use PMSs to send pricing.
This is kind of what I want to ask, because what I was seeing here is I was seeing a price optimizer, and a channel manager all as one kind of complete solution. So if I'm sitting there as an existing hotel,
yep.
I may not have an RMS necessarily, because as we picked up in one of our earlier pitches, it's not a high proliferation as it would be from a PMS point of view, for instance. From a channel manager point of view, if I'm there's probably going to be a good chance that I've got a channel manager. So how does that work if I'm looking to, if I've kind of been inspired by this pitch and I'm looking and thinking, wow, okay, that looks a pretty neat solution. Do I need to ditch my channel manager because it all seems to come as one?
So the short answer is no, you don't have to ditch your channel manager, but you probably will.
The better answer would be to ditch it.
No, look, the thing is that, like, we do work with other channel managers, and we very successfully work with them. What we'll lose obviously is the fine-grained control over the different channels. Because if we use another channel manager, what we have is basically the channel manager as the channels. So I can no longer control one channel against the other without having our channel manager connected. And then the second thing is that, so the first time we actually turned this on, or maybe the second time, we broke our channel manager. The amount of data that our price optimizer clients generate, that's like less than 5% of the amount of the properties. That generates like 80% of all the data that we're funneling through our channel manager, because we're just doing that many price updates and availability updates, because every recalculation makes a new update. So we have a bit of a problem of actually funneling that through to other channel managers. They're just not fast enough in most cases. So that's the other issue there. So that's what I mean. But it's no problem. Like, if you have a channel manager that you're really happy with, we will start working with them. We will try to integrate, and we will showcase of what other things you can do in the second term.
I wanted to highlight it because I was sure the answer was going to be yes, we could. But what struck me with the presentation is that the interconnectivity in the way that you utilize both aspects of that technology just means that you've obviously worked on how those two elements work so closely together, that the moment you bring in what may be a same technology solution, but not as harmonized in the way that you work with your price optimizer, there is going to be some friction. No matter how well or what technology exists for an integration, there is going to be some friction there. Now, I guess the other point to highlight, in case, again, back to my simplified questions, is that as a company, you've got tens of thousands of hotels that you are working with. And so shifting out of a channel manager is obviously not a problem, because you've been able to handle that pretty well with all of your existing clients, I would guess. Yeah, exactly. And I think, because I think it's important that when we look at it, what we're here to try and do in terms of from the travel tech is to try and educate hoteliers. And I think sometimes, I know through Revenue Hub, there's a lot of technology talk.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, and maybe the more sophisticated groups, where they've got that solution to be able to help the onboarding, it's maybe seems less daunting, although the volume of data can make it challenging. I think we always try and look at it from the Revenue Hub's perspective of, okay, if I'm a small group or a large hotel and I'm looking to make this change, how challenging is it going to be for me to make that shift, because I've got used to operating in this way? And I think it would, you could see the benefits of combining the price optimizer and the channel manager in the way that you've outlined. But then I guess there would be that question in my mind about, okay, well, what's going to be that kind of traction? Can you talk a little bit?
Sure. No, look, and I think you're hitting one of these topics that is A, close to heart, and B is also very important to discuss. I mean, yes, if you're working in that kind of way, most of the hotels that we encounter, they have to change quite a lot of processes. They have to train the reception staff to a certain degree on using not the PMS and stop digging around which rate code is now available. It's a different kind of way of working. A lot of more prices are dynamic. You need to train that. Hey, you can no longer hold a potential reservation for 3 hours. It might be just half an hour left. And there are a lot of nitty-gritty things here, and the same goes on the revenue management side. That is normally a bit lesser. What we therefore do is all of our clients on the Price Optimizer have a key account manager assigned. They work very closely with the hotel. They handhold them through the implementation process. They do a lot of the they're not like consultants in the sense of they tell you what to do, but we do elaborate together with the hotel what you want to achieve and how to achieve it best in our system, so that this initial setup is actually done much more together between staff at Yielplanet and the hotel, rather than just here's a new tool, here's your report, go figure out how you increase RevPAR. That's not our approach here.
And there are different approaches, aren't there? Because some people are simplifying it to make it very easy to onboard very quickly, and then there are other gains that you're trying to gain, and you need more.
We use the human approach to funnel through that process, and it takes a while. I'm not going to lie to you, it takes a while. It takes a week until we have all the data. We do a lot of analysis to actually make sure we set up the system in the right way. The point is, we want every single one of these Price Optimizer customers to be really happy and to actually make a lot of profit out of that system. So that's the way we're operating there. It's different than with a channel manager. A channel manager is more a self-service tool. There's a lot of support around it, but you have a tool. We train the people, we train the hotels to use it, and they use it, and they're mostly capable of doing that. With the Price Optimizer, we'll train you too, and it's easy enough to do it. But there's a lot of settings in a revenue management system that are not just technical; they're actually strategic. There's more of a question of what you want to achieve.